Cindy.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see all you guys. Hi, Hattie. Hi, Melody. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. We would love to see you off your cameras if you are camera ready. And if you need a few minutes, we understand, but we're welcoming you to the Absolute Elite Mindset. This is our third day and we are so excited. Thank you to the other coaches who have participated before, Debbie and Carol and Angeline. We appreciate all the lessons you've given us so far. So we want to give a shout out to you guys. And I'm sure that what Tina and Renee are going to bring us today are just going to build on what we've got so far. So we are looking forward to that. We all gathered together today based on our common beliefs, and we are introducing you to ideas that are going to help enhance your life. And we are looking forward to pouring into you this week, next week, and then there are VIP opportunities afterwards. So you can feel free to contact coaches and learn about more opportunities after that. Today, we're going to hear from two absolute elite mindset coaches, Stars Tina and Renee Montero. They're going to give us some information. So today I have the very honored privilege of introducing you to our first coach of the day, Stars Tina. Yay, Stars Tina.
Woo, 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 woo.
Yes. Yes. And so
And she's going to bring it on.
She is going to bring it on. Yes, this Absolute Elite Mindset Coaching Program is in the middle of its onset. This is our third week.
Thank you so very much. Hey, thank you, Mindy. All righty, guys. So it is about that time to get started. I am putting it on gallery view, but everyone else is on spotlight. So you can see me because I want all your attention. And Dale, thank you for putting on your camera. Melody, Diana, I see Mighty Mel from Canada in the building. Daniela, Rick Derula, take those cameras off. Trisha, take those cameras off. Why? Because this is going to be an interactive coaching program today. We only have an hour, 45 minutes, 55 minutes. Hey there, Daniela. Daniela made it through. Okay, Daniela.
Well, Miss Tina, before you get started, I have much more to tell the people about you.
Oh, I didn't even know. Go for it. Let me spotlight you again, girl. Hit it up, hit it up.
Yes. Now, I don't know if you all know all the things that Miss Tina has accomplished, but I am so proud and honored to call her a friend. I know you can find this information from her on our Absolute Elite Mindset Coaching website. So I'm going to read a little bit about her, but I want to make sure that you can go and find this information on your own too. And I just want to let you know that she is not only an honored coach and an honored fitness professional, but I am blessed to call her my friend. And let me start with my introduction. Internet. You know how it works. That's how it goes. Tina is a mind and body transformation coach who provides her clients with the necessary mindset, nutrition, and fitness guidance needed to make a lifelong changes that allow clients to realize their greatness. While Tina's clients are from many different walks of life, she specializes in transforming the minds and bodies of women over 40 who have gone through tragedies and traumas. And her expertise in this area was born out of personal experience. In 2016, Tina's only son, Jamal, was tragically murdered inside the sneaker boutique store he owned in Rahway, New Jersey, and it just happens to be in this month of February. She decided not only to have Jamal's senseless murder not be in vain by turning the tragedy into triumph, and by focusing on the changing world through health and wellness, one person at a time. Tina is the owner of an online fitness boutique studio, Elite Stars Fitness, and she is a personal trainer who is also certified in nutrition, yoga, and group fitness classes. Elite Stars offers a wide variety of group classes, 11 training, life coaching, and other programs such as a running club, and you can visit her website for more information. In addition to being the owner and operator of Elite Stars, Tina is also the co-founder of Elite Fitness on Fire, which specializes in bringing you uplifting and empowering events such as the Ignite the Fire Within event, as well as special group activities that are intended to encourage transformation of mind and body through building a community of people who support and empower each other. And all this information can be found on her website as well. Tina is a successful author who has published a wide variety of content ranging from fitness journals to motivational and inspiring ebooks, many of which I have taken advantage of. So they're amazing. I'll vouch for that. You can read my reviews. These publications are available on Elite Stars website. These journals are also available on Amazon. Anyone who knows Tina knows that she has a gift of reaching people with her voice. She is a motivational speaker who speaks to audiences of all sizes, both in person and virtually. Most recently, Tina has joined the ranks of permanent speakers on the hugely popular Clubhouse room, Breakfast with Champions. She is also the founder of Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club on Clubhouse and the 8 a.m. Cup of Motivation room on Clubhouse, where topics include mindset, motivation, sensuality, finances, relationships, self-care, and more. Everyone who knows Tina knows who the lion-hearted legend is. It is her Sonny Boy, as she affectionately refers to him. In 2016, Tina founded the Molly Gaines Foundation to honor Jamal with one goal in mind: to provide support and guidance to young boys I apologize. To young boys and leading on the right path to adulthood. The foundation was formed soon after Jamal Molly Gaines' murder. Molly had turned his love of sneakers into his business. Sneakers were not only Molly's only love. Molly also had a passion for giving back to his community that had given him so much. Molly was also involved in the Mr. Rogers Youth Program growing up that involvement had made a huge impact on his life. Molly recognized the significance of youth mentorship. It was important to him to guide young boys and pursue their dreams and goals and to become a strong, positive leaders in the community. Molly has said that if anything ever happened to him, that he wanted a youth mentorship program named after him. And with that, the Molly Gaines Foundation was born. Since its formation in 2016, the Molly Gaines Foundation has awarded numerous scholarships to the Rahway High School seniors who have aspirations of starting and running successful businesses. The foundation also sponsors community events such as rafting trips, financial planning classes, litter cleanup in the community, and etc. And all this information can be found on her website. So if we could all open our mics and give a clap and a shout and a woo woo for Miss Stars Tina. Woo woo.
I am so floored because I'm like, who is she talking about? Is that all about me? I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you. So like I told you, I have you all on gallery view because I want to see everyone in the building. This is going to be an interactive conversation. I don't have to say who I am because she did an awesome job. Dale, thank you so much for showing your face. Deborah, I want to see your face. Crystal, I want to see your face if I'm able. I mean, if you are able to. Suzanne, I'd love to see your face. My girl, Cicely, welcome. I see my mother walking. Trisha, the reason why I want to see your face, hi, Miss Birdie, is because this is going to be a coaching conversation here. And if you notice in the chat, I asked you to put your name and where you're from. Also, introduce your business because the purpose of this is to collab, and to meet each other. As she mentioned, I'm a Traumedy energy coach, and a lot of you are saying, what the heck is that? I remember years ago, I didn't really know when I heard people say coaches, I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a this. I'm just like, aren't coaches in the gym? Aren't coaches like for basketball players? I didn't understand a person had a coaching for their life. And I was working with this woman. We worked at Barbizon. Anyone here ever heard of Barbizon back in the day? Ladies, when you had to like model, put the book on your head. So I actually worked there when I was in New York City. And me and this girl, we were doing calls. We had to call people to come in and audition, whatever. And she had a life coach, and we were talking about money and mindset. And she said something to me one day, and I was floored, pretty much pissed when she said it, because I really pride myself on being a positive, motivated person. And she says, Tina, you're kind of negative, right? And she was talking about money and my mindset. I couldn't understand that. And she actually did a TED Talk a couple of weeks ago. Hello, I see someone connecting. I don't know your name. And she was saying how she had a life coach, a business coach. And I guess thinking back then, she was already on the track. So I want you to think about people like Michael Jordan, people like Tiger Woods, people that are moving in forward motions. They have someone to guide them, someone to look in, because you don't know what you don't know. So probably about 4 or 5 years ago, one of my hugest mentors, Charlotte Jones Burton, she's the founder of Women of Color in Pharmaceutical. I also worked for her when I did spinning. She asked me to host one of her events, MC, and it was an amazing event. Deborah was actually my stylist for that event. And I got to meet so many different women, and I started meeting coaches. And I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. I think I want to do that. And it was very, very expensive. It was like $13,000. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And then to actually get a coach, I got a coach, and I was extremely scared. Anyone here ever been scared? Write in the chat if you were scared to spend like a big amount of money to invest into yourself, like thousands of dollars, even like $20. I don't know about you, but I don't like losing money at all. But I said, you know what? I believe in myself. And the only way I'm going to get to the next level is by taking that leap of faith. So I leaped of faith, and it wasn't even that much money, guys. I think it was like 125. I don't know if it was a month or a day. I don't know, but I was scared. But I did it. On my first session with her, she said, okay, she's met with me, and Dale reminds me of myself when I started with my coach. She would give me stuff to do, and I had the whole week to do it. But I finished it that same day. And I started emailing her, and it got me so laser focused. That is who I am. I'm that coach that's going to push you to your goals. I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to say, you should do this. No, because who am I? I don't know what you should do. And I speak from experience. Yes, I read books. Yes, I do lots of coaching and training, but I'm not going to sit here and say you should do this sort of thing. And when it comes to traumedy, that is a word that I have created. And a traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. Has anyone here ever had a trauma in their life? And you're probably saying, well, what is a trauma? A trauma could be something like a really bad car accident, someone close to you dying. Can I see someone raise your hand if you've had some type of trauma in your life? Anyone with me, or am I alone here? Okay. And then you have like a tragedy. A tragedy, they're kind of the same, but different. They're both horrible, to be honest with you. And when you put these two energies together, everything changes in your life. Everything changes. It's a life-changing experiences. We've all gone through something. COVID could be something. It could be something like empty nest syndrome. Do we have any empty nesters in the building where maybe you're a single mom, maybe you're a parent, and then your kids are there and then they're gone? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm alone. Has anyone ever had like lived with people their whole life? This was me. And then I was all by myself, living in a house by myself. It was so scary for me. I was like, and then I learned to love it. I was like, yes. But at first I was paralyzed. What about this one? I didn't get. Anyone ever get laid off from a job and like really got sunken into like depression? And that's just a community. And I knew someone who was like this, and I couldn't get it. I was like, it's just a job. But for them, it was not just a job. It was their life. Please mute yourself, whoever that is. It was their livelihood. Like, think about it. If you're invested in your job in the morning and the night, you have these holiday events, you have this, and then it's gone. You feel like a part of you is gone. The same as that. My point is, we all have gone through something. I don't like to compare, well, you did this or you did that. And some people say, well, wow, Tina, you've gone through so much. God is only going to give you what you can handle. Yeah, I hate that saying, but that is what makes me such an amazing coach, because I've gone through the crap, and you have to go into those dark corners to come through the light. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to give you 3 tips to control, or I'm not even going to say control, to strengthen your mindset, because that's where everything lives. It lives within your head, right here. Can we do this right here? I know it sounds kind of crazy. Dance. It's here. We're here. We're here. We're going to work on this mind. Work on this mind. Maybe some Reiki. Anyone ever do Reiki? I've gotten it. I don't do Reiki, but I'm doing Reiki on myself right now. Anyone here got some Palo Santo? I don't know about you, but anything I do, I have to get my environment ready. I've got my Palo Santo here. I got a candle over here that my girl Renee gave me. It's all about the energy in the space. You may hear me say this all the time. Your vibe is your tribe. And what is it that you want? Okay. So mindset right here. Whew, I need some volunteers in the building because like I said, this is going to be an interactive sort of thing. I just made a risky decision and it's exciting. Carol, please unmic and share with me your risky decision. If you guys don't know, this is Carol. She is one of the coaches with us. Talk to us, Carol.
Oh my goodness. I just made it this morning. I am going to be doing an elite coaching program. I'm super excited.
What are the two biggest things? I know the price, because when you say elite, when you say masterclass, when you say coaches, it's already expensive. What made that so scary for you and what made you do it?
Well, I've been following this guy for 2 years and I trust him. I know I mean, I've written stuff. I got a page of notes of his, and I'm just excited that, here's what I want to say. Whatever you vision, it comes true. And this is what I envision. And I've talked about that on my, segment. Vision, it comes true. And so it came true today.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carol. If you guys don't know Carol, tap into her. She's a high performance coach. She did amazing. We have her replays from when she first spoke if you need to speak with her. So I'm going into my chat right now because there's 3 topics that I'm going to focus on today. What was the other thing besides the candle? Palo Santo is one thing. Another thing that I do to get my mindset, anyone do this? Oils. I love the oils. This oil right here is called Calming. I put it in my hair. I have oils over here. And I also have a singing bowl. It's over there. It's like, it's spinning around. These are things that I help my outside area to get me focused. Carol made a risky decision. Suzanne, thank you for coming through. All right, always scared, but I have to do it. I always say if something doesn't scare you, then it's not pushing you hard enough. I love that. I love that. Minnesota is Miss Mindy. All right, so today I have money, mindset, and fitness. We have 20 minutes after the hour. I'm giving you 3 tips. The first thing I want to talk about in regards to mindset, making it strong, is money. We all want more money, right? Money. Right in the chat.
Kamala Harris's speechwriter.
Oh,
Someone's got to mute themselves. I heard
Space connects us all.
That's probably Pam. There we go. All right, right in the chat for me. I see dollar signs, dollar signs from Deborah. So Carol said it so strongly. Mindset. One thing you can do is journaling to strengthen your mindset. I don't know about you. I usually only journal when I'm angry or upset or mad. Some people have these wonderful rituals, but for me, that's very challenging. But journaling is one thing that can strengthen your mindset because you get it out of your head. And I need you guys to unmic. Corinne, unmic for me. I'm not unmic. Let me see your faces, guys. I want to see your faces. I want to see you in the building. So another thing, thank you, PDC Wendy. Can I see you raise your hand if anyone here journals on a consistent basis? Any journalers in the building? Journalers, love it. Gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. When you journal, hi there, Carol. What are you grateful for? When you're journaling that, it's so important. So we're talking about money right now. And I want to share with you a few books that have helped me add value to my money. Because if I was to go back to where I came from, I'm not going to go into that whole story. Money was always an issue, not having enough, not it being there. The one book I want to share that was the game changer for me, You Are a Badass at Making Money. So the book before this one is You Are a Badass, and that's kind of for your attitude. This is by Jen Sincero. If you don't want to read it, somebody write this in the chat for me. You can do the audio book, but this book right here was game changer in my mindset. I probably read it about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was so funny. I was with my client, the one that I told you who invested into me so much, and I was training her. And in the book, it says, write down all the bills, all the money all the bills you have, write that one number down. And I did that. And it was probably like $30,000, $40,000, something like that. I'm talking to my client. I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah, I read this book. I'm stretching her out at the end. And I said, yeah, so this year I have to make an extra $30,000 to pay off all my bills. And she looked at me kind of like, $30,000? Like, that's nothing. She said, I repeat, I paid more than $30,000 in taxes alone. When she said that, I was like, oh my God. how much money did she actually make if she paid that much in taxes? It's your mindset. If you think it's a lot, if you think it's a little, guess what? It's going to be there. Another thing I like to say to strengthen that mindset with the journaling is what you put out. Which you get another book for your business. If you don't have this one, Celebrity CEO. I love this for business owners because it keeps it simple. Ramon, very, very simple. This one right here for my ladies in the building. We all should be millionaires. Why I don't like that word should, but I'm gonna take it because we love Rachel Rodgers, right? It's not about you. It's about what you can give to others. And if you saw, we had our vision board event a couple weeks ago, and Steve Harvey was talking about 300 things that you want. Just get a piece of paper and write them out. 300 things. This is what we added. And that's because of Rick the Ruler. He actually gave me this video. And my daughter did this last year, and she would call me every day. Okay, Mom, it's time. And she'd sit there every morning. She did it for like 2 weeks. I was like, Lord. And she would read her 300 things. Can I tell you, at least 10 of those things have come true already? You have to speak into existence what you want. So to strengthen your mind, you have to journal. You have to put it in a piece of paper. Another book that I like, Pray and Grow Rich. This is my Muslim sister. Absolutely amazing. These are books that I absolutely love. And then the last one I want to share with you is The Magic of Thinking Big. If you know me, you know my tribe. I need you to unmic right now. I'm going to say think big. And if you know me, what are you going to say? Unmic, unmic, unmic. Think big.
Think big.
Everybody, unmic. Think big.
Think big.
Think
Times
big.
10.
Think big.
Times 10.
Yes. And listen to me, guys. When you have people around you that are amazing. I remember the first time, if you guys know Renee Noor, this is why I love her so much. I thought I was like motivated. I shared that with her, just having a conversation. She's like, why 10? Why not 1,000? You have to have people around you that are going to push you. I don't really like that word. So now I'm saying elevate instead of push, because people are like, you're so pushy, Tina, you're so pushy. Elevate. She elevated my mindset when it comes to money. Okay. If you have 7 streams of income coming into your life right now, can I see some 7s in that little chat right there? 7 streams of income. And if you do not have 7 streams of income, I'm going to say, why not? Do you know how simple it is? I was originally going to do this whole conversation on money, but money can be so small when it comes to other things. I'm checking my chat right here. Who's got 7 streams of income? Talk to me. The first one, Jensen Cyril. Thank you, Angeline. Top of the morning. 7 streams. Yes, Mindy. And if you're wondering what that is, yes, you may have your main stream of income, but then you might do some type of network marketing. I'm sure everyone in this room has at some point in their life done some type of network marketing, whether it's Amway, Mary Kay, Arbonne, Prove It, the Nail Tip ladies, you name it. You've done some type of network marketing company. Get into your group and start adding on what it is that you want. Along with the 7 streams of income, how are you showing up? All right. Are you showing up like the janitor? Are you showing up like the help? Or are you showing up like you own the business? All right. You can only make a first impression once. Did you know that? When the first time you meet someone, if your hair's all messed up, if you have boogers in your eyes, it's like, okay, I don't know if I want to work with that person. Dale, I don't see your face, girlfriend. Let me see your face. So when it comes to your mindset and being strong and being confident, journaling is what I was saying, but also reading. Readers are leaders that take action. Yes, you can read it. You can put it in your head. You can go to all these events, but if you're not taking action right away, it's not going to get you to where you want to go. So I want someone to volunteer, raise your hand. And I just want to do a quick little coaching session with you. Who wants to be a volunteer in regards to mindset? If you have a question, if you have a comment, I see Debbie here. Debbie, guys, Debbie's an amazing one. She actually is one of our coaches as well. Adding spotlight. Talk to me, Debbie. Questions, comments, concerns.
So, I see, hold on. Okay. I had to get rid of that window. It said, anyway. So I know you talk a lot about mindset, and I want to know, what was your, biggest moment, I guess, or your biggest aha that really kind of just turned it around for you? Where, or has it just been like a steady process?
Actually, the answer is both. So I didn't say this earlier, but everyone write down why. Your why has to be super huge. And we hear this all the time. Your why should be so big, it makes you cry. What do you want to get it for? Why do you want to get it? And we're talking about finances right now. And the struggle bus has been there, and I've always lived the struggle bus. And I just remember the times when I was living in New Jersey. Like one day is so clear. I was a single mom. And I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, like I had my life planned out. I went to arts high school. I was a performing arts major. I was a flute major, but I always hung out with the drama majors. And I love dancing. So for me, I was going to New York. I was going to be a dancer. I was there. And I went to college. I was in college for communications, but then I changed it to drama because I wanted to be an actress. And then I met this girl who took me to New York City, and it was all over for there. I was like, oh, I'm in love. And you see, I'm like this, right? So when I was in New York, I was always that go-getter. I was dancing for a popular rap group called Black Sheep, on the Apollo, on like doing all this stuff. And then I got pregnant with my daughter. Love it, thank God for it. But then my life kind of did not go in the direction that I wanted. So I had to make a decision at that point. Okay, are you going to stay stuck here? So I've always been that pusher, and I was a single mom, which was extremely challenging. I'm not going to say hard, because money was tough. And I remember, Debbie, there was one day we really didn't have any food. And that sounds crazy, right? How do you not have food? We really had no food in the house. And I went to Popeyes, and it wasn't Popeyes, it was Popeyes. And I said, can I speak to the manager, please? And I pulled the manager out and I said, excuse me, sir, can I please have some food for me and my kids? I don't know where my grandmother was. I was like, could I have some food for me and my kids? He gave us a bucket of chicken and I was like crying when he gave it to me. I could not believe that I was at the point where I did not have food for my own kids. And ever since that moment, I was like laser focused. I would work all the time. But the one thing that was most important, Debbie, it had to be something I believed in my heart. If I'm that person, I'm out. Like if it doesn't vibe with my energy, and then it just kept on going and on going. So to answer your question, which I don't think I did, repeat your question.
Well, if you had a defining moment, and was it a slow process, or was it, little by little, or did it, like it was just like a light bulb went off and you?
I think it was definitely a gradual, it kept growing and growing and growing. Because you know why? You're around. So now, I'm hanging out with the millionaires and Breakfast with the Champions, from then, like let someone that we know, our friends, guys, these are our friends, buying a plane. Did I hear him say that, Debbie?
Yes.
Hey, and you guys hear me say this all the time. I'm looking for 5 to 7 women that are looking to buy a plane, because in the next 5 to 7 years, I'm getting a plane. I'm claiming it. So to answer your question, Debbie, it's an ongoing process for the mindset. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you answering that.
Hey, anyone else have a question or comment, concern when it comes to money and mindset? If so, on mic, raise your hand.
Hi, good morning, Terry. This is Cheryl Burke from Volkswagen.
Hi there, what's your name?
I had touched base with you. I was back in December, sometime after
Is this Cheryl?
Beth left. You were looking at some tick ones. I had some others kind of rotate in. I want to touch base with you and see if we could revisit and get something worked out as far as the price point that you're trying to stay in, and something with blind spot. So anyway, my number, if you could call or shoot me a text, 618-422-9153. Again, 618-422-9153.
Tina, I don't think I think that's a mistake. They need to mute their mic or something.
I'm looking. Yeah, I think Cheryl was the one talking. I could be wrong.
But I don't think that was for you. Yeah.
Or someone trying to get it. I don't know. All right. So let's move on to tip number 2. Today we're talking about mindset, how to strengthen your mindset. The first tip that I gave you guys was journaling and of course reading. And I want to get into more mindfulness. This is a journal that I got last year. I was gifted a trip to Costa Rica. And this trip, if you don't know, I had many traumatides in my life, from attempting suicide twice, being in a mental hospital for 8 weeks after my father died, the tragedy of my son being murdered. And I was gifted this trip to Costa Rica, and this is a journal that she gave us while we were there. It was an intense therapy session there. It was pretty much in the morning we had therapy, and then during the day we did something fun like go to the beach or zip lining, and then at night we had therapy again. And in the therapy they gave these books which would definitely focus on the mindset. That's where I actually got my oils from. And this is something as well. I don't know about you, but this is a rock. It says grace. And this really helps me breathe, stay focused, because I had to give myself a lot of grace. Another amazing book, if you guys have ever heard of the 4 Agreements, this game changer. I could read this every single day. I'm not going to read them now, but if you don't have this, by Don Miguel Ruiz, write this down. And then The Alchemist. So for strengthening your mindset, you have to tap into something a little bit bigger than you. For me, it's about reading. It's about going to events virtually like this right here, connecting with people. Let's see who's actually, hello, Paul. Let's see who's connecting with each other in the chat. Shirley said, good, could be a troll. I think so too, Carol. If you're not speaking, please. All right. So events like this, right? Connecting with
Mel has her hand up.
I'm gonna make you co-mod, Angeline, or shall I say, who am I gonna make? I'm gonna make Mindy, since Mindy's our host today. So Mindy, you can like do the muting and all that stuff right there for me, if that's okay.
Mel has her hand up, sorry.
Make co-host, there we go. So we're talking about reading, we're talking about events. What does this do for you? It makes dreams come true. Can I tell you, almost everything that I thought about, actually said, came through. Something really major. And I need another volunteer right here.
It's Carmela. Do you see Carmela with her hand?
Yeah, she has a question.
Yes, first I want to say thank you. Someone invited me here and I see all the ladies are here. So hello, everyone. So here's a question I have. I've been going through a struggle for quite some time. I'm a single mom. It's been 3 years of separation, but I'm on the cusp of success, I guess you can say. I'm getting a really good job. I have a patent for a skirt design I've done. I'm getting ready to visit a major manufacturer. Like, how do you get over that mindset of poverty and lack to like not sabotaging myself in this season? Do you know what I mean? So like,
I know exactly
this is
what you mean. Yes,
a multi-million-dollar like contract. So
love it, love it. Here you go, girlfriend. I got you. First of all, I'm sure if you haven't, there's something called imposter syndrome. It's not just you, but it's from the people, from the ancestors behind you. And first of all, I want to say to you, you have the right. You are worthy. As my daughter would say, it's your birthright. Like, come through. You are no different than Beyonce. You are no different than Les Brown. You are no different than anyone that you look up to.
No, Jason, dude.
If you are putting in the work, then everything that you have is going to come true. And this is another thing I want to suggest to you, Carmela. If you don't have the faith, and I'm not into the Bible, but faith of a mustard seed works so much. Think of that verse, think of how tiny it is. And you have that faith, it will push true. Another thing, Carmela, if God gave you the idea, if he planted into your head, he gave you the tools to let it flourish and for it to come out. And it's still, if you're still like struggling, like, oh, I don't know, borrow the faith from someone else. I'm not going to say fake it, F-A-K-E, because people say, oh, well, fake it till you make it. This is from Angeline, faith it, F-A-I-T-H, faith it till you make it. Have that faith in God. Yes, it's $1 million, but think of that a little bit bigger. And maybe what you want to do as well, Carmela, is just start writing out bigger numbers. I think we don't do that enough. For example, if I said $600,000 goals that you want, for example, you know, I want a plane, right? So Renee and I Googled how much does it cost to get a plane? So we know how much it's going to be each month if we rented it or to buy it. And then I was like, you know what? We get the plane, but we probably have to get insurance. We probably have to get a pilot. We probably have to get gas. Like, start thinking bigger. Put yourself in that situation. Surround yourself. Let me tell you, I have pictures, videos. My phone is swiping with videos all the time of different things. Does that help you out at all? Talk to me.
yes, it does. Thank you. So absolutely. I'm just going to keep doing, some of these things. The industry I'm getting into, it's a $300 billion industry.
Yes.
And so that's what I keep writing. And then, getting a full-time nanny and help because we homeschool. So just some really good things. So thank you.
I love it. And I love the fact that you're getting the nanny, you're getting the help, because what a lot of people will tend to do is try to do everything themselves. And if you think about it, if you spend all that time, energy cleaning something you don't enjoy doing, you're wasting time. Where can you invest that time somewhere else? All right, so let me get into the second topic. I started the second topic, reading virtual events, law of attraction, what do you really want? And I just wanted to share like some of the things. I like the gallery view because I like to see you in here. Crystal and Cynthia, why can't I see your face? I want to see your face, girlfriend. You guys want to speak? Hi, Jackie. How you doing, girlfriend? Deborah. So today we're talking about
situation going on over here. I see this face, but I am here.
Thank you, Crystal. Today we're talking about strengthening your mindset. And in the chat, you wrote where you're from. We're talking about fitness. We're talking about relationships, and we're talking about money. We talked about money just a bit. I want to transition some into fitness and relationships, but any questions before I move on from money? Any other questions about money, raising your mindset with money? If so, go, Crystal.
Oh, no, I was trying to mute myself back out.
All right. Anyone else have a question before we move on? Love it, love it.
Yeah, I do. Let me, I can't remember. Sometimes as, let's see. For me, with being a visual artist, the income is not as steady because there'll be more commissions at once and then it'll be a lull. Or I have kids art club, that's another revenue, but there might be competing factors that kids are signing up for during one season, then another. And sometimes it's hard to stay positive with the ebb and flow because it's not like a constant study. And I have to say, like, this winter has been tough to continue, but I really want to continue to earn by teaching art and making art of my own to share with the world, whether it's murals, prints, commissions, paintings, all those things. So I'm trying to do my different avenues, but it can be wearing.
Love it. Suzanne, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's Suzanne.
Yay.
Yeah, this is my art.
Beautiful, guys. Tap into Suzanne if you want some artwork. Where do you live?
I live in Chicago. It's full of snow and ice outside, so I like to paint things that are beautiful and bright and don't die.
You're doing it right now, Suzanne, and I can definitely empathize with what you're saying. So I guess it was last year, I actually quit my job completely because, like you, I wanted to fulfill my passion. My passion is fitness. For you, it is art. And the one thing that was a game changer for me is making out a plan. Suzanne, do you have a plan of how much money you want to make for the year?
I have not done that.
Okay.
I mean, I know what I would for sure want to be at $4,000 a month or more. That's where I want it. And I'm not quite there yet.
We can start right there. And this is for everyone in the space, whether you have a full-time job or you want to leave your job. Because a lot of my clients say, I said this all the time when I first started with my coaching, $10,000 a month. That's what I want. And then my coach gave me a plan and then I worked toward that. That's what I'm working towards. I'm not there yet. Again, I'm not going to tell you something I read or that I heard of. So the best plan for you, Suzanne, is write down how much you want for the month. Once you know how much you want for the month, then knock it down to the week. Decide if you're going to work 6 days a week or 7 days a week. Once you have that, how much money do you need to make a day? 7 streams of income. Right now, you showed us this mural right here. You can put together events, all right? Come up with 4 different things you can do each month. Mindy, you might want to connect with her as well. Maybe the two of you, she's an artist as well. Mindy, I was talking to her, sipping paint, sipping, whatever you call those things.
Yeah.
Virtually, all right? Connecting with other artists. It's so many different ways, but if you have a plan, then it's going to make it so much easier when it comes to making your money.
That's true.
That's the first thing I want to say to you. And again, if you want a one-on-one, I can give you more, but that's the main thing. You can do it, but it has to start right here. Like the last person who just spoke, I forgot her name. You have to think a little bit bigger. That 4,000, and my coach said this to me. I want to make $5,000 a month. And he's like, no, Tina, I have to double that for you. Because for me, like if you guys don't know, my goal last year was to raise 100 pairs of sneakers. And I was like, do. And then I pushed it to 300 and I way surpassed that. So for me, I have to think a little bit bigger. So if you want to make $4,000, bump that up to 10. You know why? Because if you make half of that, would you be happy with $5,000 a month?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so please tap into Mindy, tap into me. If
Yeah.
someone else had their hand raised, Miss Birdie, on mic, girlfriend. If you still have a question. We're talking about.
Greetings, everyone. Waking up was our first blessing. I would like to say that mine's got to do with planning, because I know how to make the money, but I'm not it's like planning.
Planning what?
Like I have having a kids talent show and beauty pageant. So I'm gonna have to get me, like the talent is every grown person is doing stuff, but where is the children? So I'm looking like we gotta make these children beautiful again. Like they need to be the head of the spotlight. So I'm doing it, but my I probably need a promoter because I'm not promoting good at all.
Okay, so Miss Birdie, wow, I really shocked myself with how much I actually know. Woo! I ran a kids modeling and talent company. Who is the youngest person that's on your staff right now? What's the age of them?
The youngest person on my staff is my 3-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah, that's too young. That's a working person.
That's a working person. I have like all teenagers. I have a ton of teenagers, and they like set up my whole workshop, like my videos and everything. They like took over that part.
Okay, so this goes back to events, and everyone can actually get from this right here. The mindset, first of all, being confident with what you're saying with your event, having an organized plan. I'm running an event in New Jersey, and it is for children. And sometimes we as adults, we tend to think about us, what we want. Tap into the kids and ask them questions. Ask them what they like. For example, the event that I'm having, I called some of the men, and I'm like, what do you want? What do you like? Because if you're planning it for yourself, it's never going to happen. And if you're thinking of planning an event, don't think you have to have all the answers at once. If you're building a course, if you're building a program, because first of all, you may love it, you may want it, but the people that you're working with, you don't know what they want. So start asking questions. So for your event, when it comes to the mindset for that, Miss Birdie, is making sure that you're connecting with people in that field. And maybe you collab with someone. You said you're doing a beauty show and a pageant, a fashion show. Girl, let me tell you, the photographers, the makeup people, the designers, the vendors, okay? Get all these people in with you, have a conversation, have an email, hey, let's promote together. Because when they're winning, you're winning. And I don't know about you, but all I do is win, no matter what. Don't you want to win, girlfriend? Yes. So get the people with you. And you have to make sure when you're doing an event, people have a vested interest. Like, what are they going to get out of it? That's the whole thing. What are the other people getting at? Are they getting motivation? Are they getting promotions? Are they getting sales? Are they getting uplifted? People will sometimes want to be around you just to be around you. All right, Crystal, I see your hand raised. Was that good for you, Miss Birdie?
I'm trying to tag in to help Miss Birdie, because one of the things is, and this is kind of what I do that you and I were going to talk about another time, was because I come in and help business owners do their events behind the scenes. It's making sure that as you're putting this together, that when the event is live, you have a person behind the scenes that's running it so people can experience you and know what you are like, because they're not really buying the event. They're buying they're coming for that contact with you and for that experience. So having a team, having people that can come in and take care while you go out front and connect with your vendors, your participants, their families, the whole thing, that's going to give it the experience that's going to make me go, wow, that was an amazing event. I enjoyed connecting with her. I'll come back next time. But Miss Birdie, I did send you my information in the chat. Let's talk about what you're doing, and maybe we can assess to see where we can help you fill the holes that you don't quite have.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to read a couple things in the chat. Trisha, I don't know if she's still in here. I don't know if she's going to show her face. Trisha is pretty amazing. And I say this all the time when I talk about business plans, when I talk about things. You don't have to have a business to have a business. Let me repeat that. You don't have to have a business like a gym, a model, whatever. You are your business. If you're a mother, if you're a sister, if you're an aunt, and if you look in the chat, what she wrote there, treat your life like a business. Make a business plan for your life. And years ago, when I was a kid, I would always say 3 to 6 months, 3 to 5 years, 10 years or more. When I was in high school, I would think like this. That same woman that I told you that owns the business, I said to her, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And she said to me, Tina, I don't think that way anymore. And she says, because I'm not going to be the same person 5 years from now that I am today. So she plans, but she doesn't think 5 years from now. So like Trisha said right here, treat your life as a business plan. How are you showing? I'm going to go back in that chat because she put some fire in there. Are you still in the building, Trisha? She's probably not here.
I's here, baby girl. I's here. I've been showing my face. I'm still in bed, but I'm here.
Show us your face, and I'm looking for you. Chat in.
I'm here.
There she is. There she is. Tell us what you were saying, because that's amazing, girl. I'm loving it.
Well,
Wait a minute. You are doing good. You're really good.
I'm still. I got invited.
Okay, I'll throw it in the trash.
But go ahead, Trisha.
I don't know who that was, but I'm still in bed. But I got invited in, and I don't know who that is. Anyway, it's not here. It's just me and my little puppies that are here. But anyway, I have this bad habit of believing that nobody's gonna want what I'm offering. So I have to write a business plan. I have to have a plan for myself. I have to write it out and project out into the future and say that this is my business plan and this is what I'm going to do and this is what's going to occur for me, or else I don't stick with it. I don't do it. I'm not consistent. So I have to have it written down on paper. And that's something I learned just most recently, because when I was in the corporate world, when I was working, I had somebody structured around me that was causing me to do that. When I stopped working, I lost all of that and I lost structure. So I have to have it down on paper so that I'm structured out with that. If I don't, I just don't.
Love it. Love it. If you're getting value from today's conversation, can I see some stars in that chat there? Can I see that you're with me right there? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So today, if you're just chiming in, this is a program that I thought of about the end of last year. I was in a Clubhouse room. If any of you are familiar with the app Clubhouse, it's a social media app and it's amazing. It's a game changer. If you are not a part of it, I invite you to join. I've been on it for about 2 years now. And when I first got on, I was extremely hesitant. I'm a stubborn person. I'm so stubborn. I'm hard-headed. Okay, I should not say that. I'm not saying that. I'm not stubborn. I'm not hard-headed. I'm not saying that. Because remember, the words you speak are what's going to happen. Let's just say I didn't want to get on the app. All right. Someone said, well, Tina, it'll help you grow your business. You can make money. And I'm like, how? I don't want to meet new people. So they told me to go into a room and I'm like, they were talking about meditation and how it can better your life and self-care. I'm like, I already know this stuff. Why am I going to do this? And he said, go in there and ask a question. So if any of you are new to Clubhouse or getting on there, this is how you're going to grow your brand. This is how you're going to grow your business. And the reason why you want to do this is because when you grow your community, you grow your income. So go into a room. And you may know all the answers. This is for my girl Dale. You know, she's an emotional intelligent coach. She knows everything about it. But she may go into a room and ask a question. She already knows the answer, but she's going to raise her hand and ask a question. What is that going to do? That's going to put attention on her. That's going to put light on her. You want to put light on who you are and what you know. And then when you ask the question, answer the question, ask the question and get the answer, then you can start talking more. That's what I did when I first began. I found a room. It's called Breakfast with Champions. It's on Monday through Saturday, 5 a.m. It's an 8-hour show. The most motivation, the most education and inspiration when it comes to finances, money, you name it, has everything. And I was like this. Let me tell you, when I got in there, I was legit on my phone for hours taking notes. It was like a university. And listening to these people, I was like, wow, this is so good. And I hit up one of the persons in Instagram, because it's good to have an Instagram connected. If you're running a business, this is where you want to go. And I said, why are you guys doing this? You make millions of dollars, you have all this money, why? And he said, Tina, in life, you have to give in order to get. And I was like, well, what do I have to offer? Because I never really thought I had, please mute whoever that is. I never really thought I had anything to offer anyone. Remember, so like, oh, you should write an ebook, you should do this. And I'm like, for what? I don't know anything. Sometimes you need that person, a coach, okay, to pull your greatness out of you. Every single one of you, I repeat, every single one of you have greatness inside of you. You may not see it. I said this to Renee this morning. I was like, I don't know if it's a curse or a gift, but God has given me this special superpower to have a conversation with someone. And while talking to them, I can pull just what is suggestions for them to do. If anyone has experienced this with me before, I would love for you to unmic and share if I'm telling the truth. I would love to hear this. Go for
That's
it.
me. That's me. The daughter.
Share with me.
Oh man. So when I first met Tina, I was like, oh, this lady has so much energy. Oh, did I really find my match? And so at one point in time, it was like, I wasn't competing with her. I really wasn't. I was just like really trying to get up to that level. Like I want to be, she's like 49 at the time. She was 49 and she still has all this energy and I'm 35 and I have none. Okay, watch this. So, you know, and so as our relationship grew and grew and grew, Tina's like, Ashley, what are you doing? I'm at work. Why are you not working on your business? At work. And I'm like, because I'm at work. She's like, but you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there watching the computer screen. You could have did this, and that in your business. And I'm like, she's right. She is absolutely right. And so I started working on my business more. And every time she comes up with something new, she texts it to me. Ashley, are you doing this? Ashley, are you doing that? And I'm like, yes, Tina, I am.
Ashley, I have to talk really quick. So guys, getting into fitness, that's how most people come with me with fitness. Like I said, I don't know if it's a curse. And Ashley's like, I don't have time to work out. I have to open this heavy door and check a computer. I said, well, every time you open the door, do 10 squats. Ashley, how many squats did you end up doing that day?
2,000 squats. I'm still feeling it.
Well, let me tell you, there are no excuses. I am amazing. You can achieve anything. Thank you so much for that, Ashley. And I just want to tap into something else that she mentioned that I wrote here. When we had our vision board event a couple weeks ago, and we're talking about money and how much money you want to make. And Ashley's like, I want to make an extra $500. I'm like, low key, she doesn't know this. I need to see your faces unless you're not available. I would love to see your faces. So she said she wanted to make an extra $500. I was like, okay, in my mind, I didn't tell her this. I was like, I don't know if I can hang out with this girl because like $500, that is like, you know, but let me tell you, she has exploded that so much. She's also talked about no excuses and not wasting time. So that is one of my superpowers, is to pull out the greatness inside of you. The last tip I have for you today, I'm talking about ways to strengthen your mindset. The first one is journaling and reading. The second one is going to events, meeting people, introducing yourself, opening up your mouth, sharing your story. I see Melody in the building. No, $500 a day. I like that one. That's better, Trisha. No, that was for the month, Trisha. She said $500 for the month. That's why she was about to get cut.
Full disclosure, I am a software engineer, so I make the amount of money she was saying anyway. And she's like, no, you need an additional 10,000. I'm like, okay, I do.
Yes. And like I said, we need those people in our lives to stretch you. Hey, Mighty Mel, good to see you. Mighty Mel is another coach. Jackie is another coach. Surrounding yourself with people that are going to elevate you. Because again, I don't say push. The last tip I have today, and in my notes it said 3 to 5 tips, but we have some money talk next. You're going to love the money talk. Renee and I are going to be working on that together because it's who you're surrounding yourself with. And you have no idea who God is going to place into your life. All right. My business started, this business that I'm doing right here, the virtual online coaching, everything started during COVID 2020. And I really want to interview this lady because if it wasn't for her, I would not be where I am today. And she probably doesn't even know it. The woman I've been talking about, she has a company, Women of Color in Pharma, and it was during COVID. And she says, Tina, I don't want my ladies staying still. Can you teach them classes? And let me tell you, she was paying me $1,000 a week to teach 3 classes. I was like, okay, come through. But first of all, a lot of women were not coming. It was probably like 4 or 5 people. We did it for 2 months. And then after that, she was like, this isn't really worth it for me, Tina. You know, I'm not getting the return, because she really wanted her people to come through. But the 4 women that were doing the classes, they really wanted to do it. So I said, guys, I can do this for you, but I can't do it for $20 a month. You know, long story short, that was the birthing of my program right there. And then I was still teaching classes. The purpose of this conversation is to talk about your tribe. So Renee, I met Renee when I was teaching at a gym. And again, I can only work with, be around, do things that are passionate to me. I love spin. I was teaching at a spin studio, and failure is so important. Does anyone here like to fail? Anyone like, I love failing. If I'm not failing, I'm not pushing myself. I'm not going for things that I'm scared of. And I was a fitness professional and I was teaching spin, and someone inboxed me on Facebook and he's like, hey, I'm looking for spin instructors. It pays, how much did he say? $175 a class. And I was like, okay, I thought it was a scam. So I left it alone. Long story short, there's a studio called Cycle Bar, and it did pay that much. It's paid from $75 to $150 a class. So I went for the audition, and at the time I was like, I got this, you know, and I get there, and it was a 3-day audition. The first day I got cut. They said I couldn't hear the beat. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, I'm Black. Of course you can hear the beat, Tina, but I could not catch the beat because we ride to the beat. So the first day I got cut, but the owner, and this is what is real important about showing up. And Angeline taught me this about Kim Farr. That's what I meant to say hi to earlier, is when I went for my audition at the time, I was really into Arbonne, and I bought her a basket because in my mind, she's opening up this studio. This is where you have to be thinking all the time to make money. Is I was going for my audition. She's opening this studio, a high-end boutique studio. So I said, you know what, Tina, I'm going to bring these Arbonne products so she can put the lotions in the bathroom. She can put this in and I gave her, I'm like, here, this is for you. I had a 30-day clean eating program for it. So she knew who I was. I didn't make it for the first audition. And she said, you know what, Tina? She's like, Tina, even if you don't make it, I want you as my assistant. So I started getting in. First audition, got cut. I auditioned again. I got cut again. I'm like, what the heck? But they still kept me around. I still kept taking classes, kept taking classes. And it's funny because my story makes me think of Les Brown when he talks about his radio station, if you heard him talk about it. One day I was at the studio practicing for my audition, and the girl who was supposed to teach class, unfortunately, she had a really bad car accident and she wasn't able to teach. And I had just finished practicing for 3 hours. I'm in Olive Garden, and they're like, Tina, can you teach? I was like, yes. And I was able to teach. The point of this story is I pushed through. I love spin. I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. Renee, I was teaching class in spin. If you've ever taken a spin class, it's a little bit challenging. Your butt may hurt, your stomach may hurt, your legs. And she's looking like a fish out of water. She's on the bike. She's all like this. She can't get out of the saddle. So after class, I went up to her. I gave her some tips, and she got stronger after that. She hit me up on Instagram. Now, I'm never going to promote my business in front of another business. So I said, if you want, we can chat about coaching, you know, personal training. So she was my personal training client. She lost like 40, 50 pounds. And let me just tell you, I never would have imagined that she would connect with me so much. And one day, I don't share my son's story. I don't use that as like, oh, work with me because my son died, or where. No, I'm not going to do that. But she must have seen something online or something about my son. And she calls me one day and she's crying and she's hysterical. I'm like, what's wrong? Did you not eat yet? Do you need to do exercise? But she had seen the video about my son and she was just like, I'm so sorry. And she said she felt she was connected with him. And that's how our relationship grew. And with collabing with her, she has exploded because she does the things I can't do, I don't want to do. And in your business, guys, if you don't like it, and if you can't do it, good, don't do it. Give it to someone else. You're wasting your time, whether it's doing Excel sheets or whatever it is. So the third tip for today to strengthen your mindset is your tribe around you. And you might say, well, Tina, I really don't know anyone. Start a group. All right. For the longest time, I wanted a book club because I like reading, but I don't like reading. Is anyone like that? And Renee gave it an attempt in the beginning, but you know, she was doing it just because I asked, and it kind of fell to the wayside. And Mindy was visiting me New Year's Eve. Every other word. Did you read this book? Did you read that book? Did you? And I was like, I was feeling so dumb that every time she asked me a question, I was feeling more and more dumb. I'm like, Lord, I need to read. So I was like, Mindy, don't you want to lead our book club? So she's leading our book club now. Last month, we read the Viola Davis book. Now we're on the Les Brown book. The point of this conversation is surround yourself with people that are going to strengthen you. If you need that energy, contact me. If I need that with the book pushing or our crafty stuff, I'm going to contact Mindy. If I need accountability or something with money, finances, I'm going to go to Renee. If it's with the high elevation performance, like getting my mind, I'm going to hit up Carol. So the third tip is surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. So in closing, let me wrap actually before I get into closing, anyone question, comment? I'm looking at we got 22 messages. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. When you stay ready, you get ready. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Mindy. I don't know about you, but it's all about getting ready for that moment in time. We've got what I'm thinking of that song. I'm not going to sing it to you guys, but you don't know when your opportunity is going to come. You have no idea when that knock's going to come at that door, when that email's got to come. Are you ready? I talk about TED Talk. I'm getting a TED Talk this year. I have to apply first because I got to make it happen, right? But you have to be ready. If I said right now, Dale, I'm going to put her on the spot. Dale, can you tell us who you are and, talk to us? My daughter actually said something. She was talking to me and she was like, emotional intelligence. I was like, check her out. Dale, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Talk to me. Are you ready or are you staying ready or getting ready? Go.
I am ready. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. Come on.
Awesome. So I am Dale Elizabeth. You guys, I'm here in Florida. I'm talking to you guys about emotional intelligence in the workplace, emotional intelligence in your lives, your relationships. You got to make sure that you are mentally ready, emotionally ready to talk to the people that are around you. Make sure you're cultivating healthy relationships, making sure that you stay ready, right? You cannot approach how you approach people if you don't check in with yourself, check in with your emotions and what you're about and how you're feeling before you even go and deliver to those clients, talk to your customers. You got to make sure that you are right internally to explode externally, right? So, yay. Thank you, Tina. This is amazing. You just gave me an idea. You just gave me an awesome idea. I'm going to do my own stuff room.
What are those 5 things? You need to say this every time you speak. I don't know what they are, but you tell me about them all the time.
The 5 concepts as it relates to emotional intelligence is your being self-regulated, self-awareness, empathy, motivating yourself, social skills. Each and every single one of them. If you're not self-aware, you cannot serve, right? You need to make sure that you know what your weaknesses and your strengths are. You're self-regulated. Whenever you get out of character or you're in your emotions, being able to wheel it back. What is it? What is your coping mechanisms, right? Motivating yourself. What gets you up and going? You got to make sure that you are constantly going and strengthening yourself. 5th, being able to not only motivate yourself, but also social skills. What are the social skills that keeps you in the room and keeps you going, right? So each and every single one of these steps, they're different steps, they're different mechanisms that get you to those things. And that's emotional intelligence, not AI.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's one of my clients. And guys, let me tell you, she has surpassed everything I could have imagined. I see she's got her backdrop there. Come through. Let me tell you guys, she's been with me for a month. And usually you're supposed to give people like little tiny things, but she's crushing it. Before I give my final closing thoughts and remarks, do we have any questions, any comments? Raise your hand. Jackie, what did you think of today? Did you learn anything, Mama? Guys, this is an amazing woman right here. I met her on Clubhouse as well. I love Jackie. Talk to me, Jackie.
This is so good. I didn't get from the beginning, but this has been so amazing, Stars. Thank you, Angeline, for inviting me. I'm just listening and taking in, guys. I'm just full with excitement and what's happening, not just for me, but for you as well. Even if you don't believe it, I'm excited about what's going to happen for you. I was just looking at a book, and actually I have a coaching session with John C. Maxwell, a live one on Zoom tomorrow. But I was looking at something, just keep this in mind real quickly, and it's not going to be a minute. He talks about keeping items of focus before you. Keep your items of focus before you. I was looking at something a young lady gave me over a year ago. She gave me this one particular scripture, and I'm not going to get spiritual on you guys, but she gave me this one scripture, Amos 9:13. You can read it if you want to. But that scripture right there, I kept it I wrote it down and I put it about 10 places all over my house, in my garage door, on my bedroom door, my bathroom door, on my office, everywhere. And guys, I am watching this very thing, as John Maxwell say, keep items of focus before you. Everywhere I go, I run into this scripture. And now I'm seeing it manifest in my life, just like 3D is manifesting. So keep your items of focus before you and watch them come to pass.
Yes,
Thanks,
Amos,
Sarah.
what?
Back
What
to
was
you.
that? Amos, what? Amos?
9:13. 9:13.
9:13. Loving it,
Keep
loving
it
it.
before you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Jackie. I wanted to talk about relationships, but we are running out of time. Anyone else want to tap into the conversation before I close this out and transfer it over? We're talking about things to strengthen your mindset that you do.
Can I share something, Tina?
No, I love you. Go for it. I'm looking for you.
Well, you really have, I've never seen anybody take a quantum leap without getting out of their comfort zone. So really, that's the key thing. You have all these habits in your mind, but unless you take those action steps and do something really scary, that is how you grow the fastest. Get out there and get scared and do it anyway.
Yes, yes, yes. Love it. And let me tell you guys, everything, can I repeat? Everything I do scared. Like I say, I don't know if it's a curse, I don't know if it's a blessing, but I want bigger things. I need bigger things. And it's not for me, it's for others. For example, it's for my children, it's for my mother, it's for my family, it's for those people that aren't that strong. Because some of us, I don't know why he does it. I'm talking about God, So he gives those who can handle certain things. For example, my mother has gotten a lot better, but there would be times if there's traffic and cars are going crazy, she would damn near have a heart attack. And I'm like, girl, chill. It's not that serious. But some people can only handle certain things. And, that's why I say it's up to me to just kind of help other people do that as well. Anyone else want to share before we go on? We're talking about strength. I'll tap everything up together and then you can comment. Today, we're talking about mindset. Renee's going to be chiming in with me about money because she's my financial planner and she's going to talk to us about budgeting and credit and all that sort of stuff. So if you have questions about that, get ready to put in your chat. But right now, I'm closing off on mindset, the importance of that mindset with money, the importance of mindset with relationships and with fitness. And relationships, I didn't get into too much because we ran out of time, but it's super important whether it's a husband, a wife, a daughter, a child, like Jackie just said, what you focus on. And for me, I have to plan everything. I know that sounds crazy. I even try to plan when I go to the bathroom. I know, kind of hard. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do this. And after this workout, we do the twist, I'm going to have to use the bathroom. So when it comes to relationships, for me, this is the best way to get my attention, to get my intimacy, is to plan something, an experience. Because for me, life is super short and I live in those moments of just the quality of something. I think about when my son and my daughter was the three of us, we didn't really spend that much time together because mommy was always working. Let me tell you, guys, in New Jersey, everything is 30 minutes away. Everything. Like they say, it's like, where are you going? Everything is 30 minutes away. So I was always driving and I cannot tell you how many times I would fall asleep behind the wheel to the point where my son had to go to Atlantic City and he wanted me to take him. And he's like, Mom, bring someone with you. I'm like, no, I'm fine. He's like, no, I know how you are. I was always tired because I was always working. When the three of us got together, lot of mercy, it was either a party or a fight. I have to share a funny story with you guys. One time we were at a restaurant, he had a girlfriend. He was probably 18 or 19, I don't know. He had a girlfriend and he would always stay at her house, probably 20, 21. And he would always stay at her house and her mother would hang out with them. And I'm just being transparent. She would even smoke with them. So I was just like, first of all, I don't like this lady and I wasn't smoking cigarettes either. I was just like, so we're in a restaurant. It's me, him, and his sister. And again, we don't get that much time. And I'm like, you're never home. You're with them all the time. And we're just literally screaming. When I say screaming, screaming in the restaurant. And then my daughter's just like, stop it. So the point of this whole conversation is when it comes to relationships and what you want from me, it's about the experience. We have some experiences coming in. I see Mary Kim right there. She is like a soul sister for me and she doesn't even know it. I think because we're so similar, she's a Scorpio. As someone mentioned earlier, the end of this month, February 26th.
Are we?
February 26th.
I have not been there to check it.
February 26th will mark 7 years that my son was murdered. Every year in February and in August, I do some type of event. And this year I was battling, should I do something? Because Renee and I actually started planning in December. But for those of you that do events, the closer you get to the event, the better it is to do it. So in December, I had everything laid out. I had my speakers, I had all this stuff. And then like 3 weeks ago, everything I had organized was falling down. It was like, and I was just like, and I was ready to just give up on the event. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go to Jersey. And again, this is why it's important to have a tribe around you, you know, and it's funny because I asked my daughter and I was just like, you know, I don't think I'm going to do this event because whatever, because it's very emotional, guys. I mean, putting together this event, and they're always amazing. They're always great for the other people. But for me, it's very emotionally draining because I'm looking at the event and this is how it kind of works. And if you do come, don't get offended if I don't hug you or that whole thing, because I'm looking out at the sea of people, because it's always a sea of people. It's either vendors, people, you know, whatever, and they're all thriving, their business. And then it just gets me thinking about my son. Where would he be today if he had his business? I'm getting off a track because we're talking about relationships here. It's the quality and the experience. Like this right here is an experience. I'm loving Rick Derula right now. I met him in a clubhouse room. He's in Philadelphia starting his trucking company. It's here, it's in his head. And I'm helping him cultivate it to pull it out. And that's what you need. You need those mindset people. So if you have a dream, if you have a passion in your mind that you want, I am that coach for you because I've been in the darkness. And in order to reach your goals, in order to reach your dreams, I don't care what it is, you have to go into the darkness. That darkness may be journaling, it may be meditation, it may be yoga. It's different for each person. I can't sit here and say, well, do this and do this and do this, it's gonna work. No, that's why I like to have the one-on-one conversations with you all. So in closing, the 3 things that I'm sharing with you today to build and strengthen your mindset for money, finances, and relationships. One is journaling. The second one, going to events, leading events. And the third one is your tribe, making sure you're surrounding yourself with your tribe. I'm going to pull Renee on the screen now, unless we have another question or comments. All righty. I have to force myself to do pauses and things.
I saw Mary Kim raise her hand.
She did? There's my Mary Kim. Oh yes, because I didn't mention the events. I'm pulling her through. Mary Kim is working with me on this. Why can't I make her through? Maybe because your face isn't there. Mary Kim, talk to me. We're doing an event this Sunday that go ahead, Mary Kim.
Can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Here, girlfriend.
Everyone, yeah, let me turn it on. Hold on. Hi. I just dropped my son off at respite, so I instead of going back home for 40 minutes and drive back, I just like hang out at Panera and do work. So anyways, so what am I talking about? Oh, what you said about community, right? Like it is all about community and events and having the people around you, right? This is how we grow, this is how we evolve. And I came in a little late, but I loved everything that you shared about what to do, like the journaling and just do it. And literally last year I went into 2022 with just intention just to make an impact. I didn't have a plan exactly, except for like, I'm just going to open my mic. I'm just going to go for the opportunities, ask the questions. And this is just for whoever needs it. Just open your mic because I got 30 opportunities to share my journey. And it wasn't about me sharing my journey. It was about me letting other people know, I see you, I got you, I understand you, you're going to be fine. You and I are the same, blah, blah, blah. And so just do everything with intention, like just go after it, because the worst thing that can happen is that someone says no, right? Big deal, but that's 50% chance they're going to say yes. And so I'm super excited. I'm partnering with Starstina for the brunch. It definitely is going to be an experience. I can't wait. So if you are in the tri-state area, you definitely need to be there. I think the tickets, the $50 early bird ends on the 10th. So I think we got one more week. And then the tickets go to $75. We take in sponsorships. We're also, I know it's the anniversary. I'm added something to the event. I keep adding stuff, Tina. So we're going to do, because your son left a legacy at 21. So we're going to have an exercise to add to the event. What is your legacy? And have all the women in there to write down what their legacy is. Right. So, and there's another thing I added. So it's just a really experience. And about, as we get to know who we are more and more, we actually get to show up not lying to ourselves who we are, good, bad, or indifferent, but also that's how you level up, is because when you stop breaking down all those stigmas and those things that are holding you back, is when you grow in business and in life. So I'm super excited. We're also taking sponsorships, donations. We're open to all the things, and we're going to highlight any business that partners with us, or if someone bought a ticket. So Renee bought a ticket. I have someone who sent us like 7 books of theirs to give away. So like we're highlighting all the women. We're nothing against the men. If you sponsor, we'll highlight you as well. But only queens are in the room except for my son. He's definitely going to be there, so you get to meet him. He's anyhow, but definitely tap in and loving this. Yeah, what you're doing. So I'm just happy to be part
I just want to chime on what you said, and this is what I am talking about, guys. Mary Kim just said 21 legacies, or just 20 legacy. If you didn't know, yesterday Renee actually said to me, you know, the name of the event that I'm doing on Saturday is Unleash the Power Within. And I said to Mary Kim, I was like, let's just have a brunch. I just wanted to meet together to have a brunch with women, but she's making it even bigger. It's going to be a pink party event. But Renee's like, what is your legacy? So this event is all about legacy. Like, what do you want to be remembered for when you leave this earth? And like I said, her and I, it's like we're together, but we're not together. That's what I love about a relationship. It's not annoying. It's just like, so thank you again, Mary Kim, for reminding us about the event in New Jersey. Hopefully she'll put it in the chat. We're talking about mindset today. We're going to go into money next. But as in closing right here, if you're here, I'm putting together March 11th is going to be a masterclass / workshop / whatever the heck you want to call it. They have all these fancy names for these things, but it's going to be March 11th. So I can dive into a little bit deeper in regard to the mindset. I do have one-on-one coaching, and I decided this month is going to be my last month. Not going to add any more clients after this, because I really want to focus on the people that I have and where I'm moving forward. So if you're here and you're like, I like what she's saying, I want to go a little bit deeper, just DM me and I can give you the information so we can do either a one-on-one or make you a part of the coaching program. I think we have everyone. It's time for money. Money, 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 money. All right, Renee, I'm going to throw it over to you. And this woman right here is amazing when it comes to money, when it comes to organization, when it comes to accountability. Renee, do you want me to stay with you, or you're cool here? We can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Yes, and I have this is Mindy, and I can introduce Renee.
We're kind of low on time, so we're just going to let her jump in.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Thank you, Mindy. You can stay. So, hi, everyone. As Tina mentioned, my journey started with her. And let me tell you, if it had not been for her, I would not be talking to you today, because I did not have the confidence. The program that I went through at Elite Stars was a lot more than just weight loss, which I lost a lot of weight, but it was also about mindset. It's everything evolves around mindset. So my whole transformation journey, I can owe that to Elite Stars. So, and that is the point I wanted to make about that, is that if your mindset in your health is not there, nothing else matters. So make your mind and body transformation a priority, and everything else will fall into place. And with that, I want to get started and talk. Today, I'm going to talk to you about budgets, credit cards, and credit scores. And the first thing I want to do is just give you like a brief overview and see if you guys have any questions, and then we're going to get into a budgeting exercise. But budgeting is all about creating a plan. Most of the time when people think about budgets, they're talking about finances, which is what we're going to talk about today. But budget can be your time, how you're going to allocate your time. Whatever you have to plan out, that can be your budget. But today it's about finances. And then credit cards are not a bad thing. It's how you use them that's important. Credit cards are basically a loan from a financial institution that you're able to use. And then the credit scores are basically a representation that is viewed as your credit worthiness when it comes to borrowing money from financial institutions. So before we get started onto the budgets. Does anyone want to share what they think of when they think of budgets? If not, we will go on.
Not being able to have fun. That's what I think of when I think of budgets. Not having fun.
Well, the
limitations. I would say limitations.
Yeah. No, the budget is actually going to allow you to see your overall plan so that you have more money in the what's called the discretionary category to have all the fun you want with that money. So what you do when you create your budget is you're going to gather your financial information, you're going to track your expenses, which we're going to get to, and we're going to categorize them. And then when we create the budget, when you look at the numbers, it's all about having it a visual in front of you, because then you can, when you see it, you can understand it a lot better. Tina, do you have the link? I sent you an email. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because we're gonna get to that in just a second. And we're gonna talk. I'm gonna walk you through setting up a budget, and we're gonna talk about the expenses and then the income. And there are three types of expenses that you have. You have your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, and discretionary expenses. Who wants to tell me what they think the fixed expenses are?
It's if you have your rent or your mortgage, electric bills, food, you know, that kind of stuff, your basic needs.
Yep. Correct. And how about variable?
Variable. Go ahead.
We can argue utility ones because utility bills and stuff will change will depend on the season. Some things will go up high, like my gas bill goes lower in the summertime, but it's higher in the winter. So I have to make that adjustment for how much I'm gonna have to need to cover it.
Go ahead, Renee. I just put the screen up, the expenses and the income.
Oh, sorry, it covered my whole screen. That's why I was, all right, then how about the discretionary expenses?
That's your walk around money or things that you spend without necessarily, they're not really planned expenses. They're just kind of things that pop up.
Exactly. Thank you, Crystal. And how about your income? There's two. Well, you can get more granular, but for purposes of this conversation, let's talk about two types of income: active and passive. Active income would be like your salaries, something that's like you can count on, right? It's a fixed amount. You're going to get it consistently. The passive income would be, which could vary from month to month or whatever the time period is, would be like investments, you know, side hustles where you're making extra money, bonuses from your job. And then let's do the budget exercise right now. Tina, can you put them in, or do you want me to put them in? If you can.
What are we doing exactly?
We're going to put the spreadsheet back up there, and we're going to go through the exercise. And if anyone, I'm going to make this spreadsheet that I actually made available to anyone who wants it. It's a basic one. We can get more complicated ones, but this one, if you want it, you can DM me and I will share it with you. I'll probably be taking it out of my directory at the end of the weekend, but if you DM me, I'll share it. All right, so the first thing you should do when setting up a budget is actually set up the categories. So let's go through and come up with some expenses. If you can click on the where it says the summary, the summary.
Yeah, it's not letting me click and write.
Okay, let me see if I can.
You can go on to the next thing. This isn't, it's few only.
Okay. All right. All right. So the spreadsheet, again, if you want to talk with me one-on-one, you can DM me, or I can just share that with you. It's pretty cool the way it works. But strategies for you, ideally you want to increase your month over month income, right? So that example that I was going to show you started with a bucket of $10,000. Ideally, you don't want to spend that $10,000 that you carry forward into that month. You want to learn to budget what you're going to receive in the current month that you're in. That way your savings grows and your potential for making long-term investments grows. That's where that pocket of money is intended for. But so the way you do that, or you get your 7 streams of income, I think Tina referenced that, and you keep your income high and your expenses low. And the budget will help you, as I said earlier, to keep your expenses lower by seeing them and tracking them, because oftentimes we spend money and at the end of the month we have no idea where it went if we don't have a budget. It just, and especially in this day and age of debit cards, which I can't even tell you the last time I had cash in my purse. Debit cards just make it so easy to just spend, right? So it's very important to track where your spending is going and prioritize needs versus wants, right? If you, it's a thin line. Like, I'm not saying never get something you want. That's what we want in life, is to have income available to us so we can address those wants. But if you're trying to, or we don't use the word try, if you're focused on increasing your savings, then you may have to make some decisions sometimes about what your priorities are. Shopping smart, you know, compare prices, compare values. Just because something is less expensive does not always mean it's the best value, right? So take all things into account. And then I'm hearing an echo. One of and it kind of ties into the fitness and healthy eating.
No, we'll put it there. In that small room.
Could whoever's on mic, please mic.
I did it, keep going.
Thank you. So one of the biggest consumers of our money is eating out. And I do eat out occasionally as well. But if you think about it, eating healthy, a lot of times people will say, oh, I can't eat healthy because it's too expensive. It's not. It is not. If you eat at home, healthy foods, I guarantee you, are less expensive than going to Chick-fil-A, where I don't eat meat, haven't eaten meat for a very long time, but they're about a combo at Chick-fil-A is about $12. So it is possible to eat healthy and save money. And then the other thing is, for example, you can like utilities, and those were the variable expenses. Yes, we need them, but let's not waste, right? Don't waste money when you can use those resources smart, right? if you're gonna be gone, for example, for a week, a long weekend, don't leave your thermostat running 24/7. In the winter, like cut it way down. In the summer, leave it high up or turn it off completely, whatever is appropriate. I wish that we could do that budget worksheet. All right. And then the, let's see, how are we doing on, okay, we've got time. Then before I move on to credit cards, does anyone have any other comments about budgets? And the reason I'm talking to a personal budget level, the same thing applies to business budgets, but if you can't control your finances at a personal level, how in the world do you expect you're going to be able to control business finances, right? So that is why I'm teaching.
I hope you can hear me really quick. I have a quick question if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is there a way to, or is there books that you recommend that can also help and guideline through this?
It's Dave Ramsey's, let me see what the Financial Peace University. It's a whole program, really, but he's got some books there. You don't have to do the program. I can help you if you have questions, but it's Dave Ramsey for sure. And then Susie Orman has some good books as well. Is that Angeline?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, let's go on. Credit cards, they are not your enemy. It's how you use them that determines if they're a good thing or bad. Using credit cards takes a lot of discipline, but you can use them to your advantage. Who wants to unmic and tell me and share what they think the different types of credit cards are? There's a lot of them. There's several types. There's no wrong answer.
Store cards.
What's that?
Store
I do,
cards,
Renee.
airline cards.
Okay. Was that Miss Hattie?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I discovered, well, I've been with my same bank for over 40 years. It kept selling to other banks, which I ended up eventually with Wells Fargo. And my entire account has been grandfathered for the last 30 years or so. I don't pay for anything. I could have zero money in my account. They can't close it unless I physically come in and close it. My credit card, for every $2,500 I spend, they give me $25. Now, my old boss, she was from China, and she told me, pay your bills with your credit card and then pay your credit card. So that's what I do. And it's like every 2.5 to 3 months, they send me $25. So I think that is terrific. They've had me for life and they will keep me for life as long as we've got that going on. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you. That's a good share. And if you are disciplined, you can definitely do things like that. I actually, in later years, they've gotten smart about this, but I actually bought a car with a credit card one time and then turned around and paid it, because there are cards that have points. There's like the secured cards, unsecured cards, the rewards cards. So that's the one where you get a lot of rewards. So that I thought that was funny, but
Renee, I don't want to move away. Really quick, you said something because someone was talking about cars yesterday. You said you bought a car with a credit card. Is that like a money transfer? Can you just talk about that real quick? How you can use credit cards to make money or to save money or points like that?
Yeah, the credit card, that I used, it was just a flat out, I charged it and then I paid for it. This was when I was in college, so it wasn't like a brand new car. It was, but it was a car. And but they do have, you can do like, for example, if you have 2 cards, a lot of the companies will have what's called a balance transfer option. They will basically allow you to transfer your balance from all your other cards to that card. And that's because they want your business. Credit card companies, they hope that you don't pay your balance in full, because that's how they make money, off of the interest, right? But we're going to get to that. You definitely want to pay your balance in full, if at all possible. A lot of times when you transfer, you have to be careful about this, because there are fees involved. The fine print, it will say, I mean, I'm going to use 10%. It's probably a lot higher, because we're in inflation right now, so it's probably a lot higher. But let's say you want to transfer $5,000 from one card to another. You can't just use your other credit card and run it like a charge. It's called a balance transfer. So they charge you like a 10% overhead fee. So if you're transferring 5,000, they're going to charge you 500 to make the transfer. So for example, they may say, oh, it's 0% financing. You got to weigh. They use that language to try and hook you, but it really wasn't 0%. It cost you $500 to do that. So sometimes those transfers make sense. Sometimes they make sense. You just have to analyze the situation and the numbers. We also have the unsecured cards, which are just the typical cards that you think about. And then the balance transfer cards, like I was just mentioning. Then you have the ones that are the fun ones, the travel credit cards, the cashback, and then they have ones for students and ones that are specifically for businesses. But again, if you're very disciplined, you can really rack up some travel credits if you get a travel credit card. And the same thing with the cashback, like Ms. Hattie was talking about. So you can use them. So somebody speak up if you want and tell me why are the positives for having a credit card apart from what I already said.
This is Crystal. When I travel, most rental car, if you go to rent a rental car or reserve, or they want you to have a credit card. If you don't, there are some places that charge you an additional fee for using a bank card, and that fee you don't get back. So you're actually paying extra for the rental car because you don't have a credit card. I learned this very expensive lesson when we traveled with my son. Also, because I felt that makes it easy. Whenever I book trips or reserve rooms, I reserve it with the credit card. And then when it comes time to pay for it, I can always switch it out and pay with cash.
That's smart. And you're exactly right. I had forgotten about the car rental, Crystal, but that is so true. I believe they do charge you extra if you try to use a debit card as a security deposit.
I actually paid an extra $200 because I didn't know that until I got down there. And they charged me a surcharge fee for using a debit card to pay for the rental car instead of using a regular credit card. So now I make sure that I have one card that's available for when I get ready to travel. I reserve the hotel rooms and the rental car and stuff on that. And then I can always switch it out and pay cash before I finalized the transaction.
Okay. That's very smart. And Crystal, I did not have this on my list to talk about, but it reminded me of something, your example. So I'm going to take just a moment. This is another area where you can save money when you're traveling. Check with your own auto insurance, because every car rental place is going to ask you, do you want to add insurance? And a lot of times people will be afraid and they'll take on the added insurance because they don't want anything to happen to the rental car and be responsible. So they'll add it. But often your own regular policy will cover car rental insurance. So that's another way of saving
It'll
money.
even cover you if you're renting a U-Haul. Like if you're renting a U-Haul, your own insurance will still cover it, and then you're only responsible for your regular deductible if something happens.
That's exactly correct. Anyone else want to share another reason why credit cards are a good thing? So some
Your
other
interest rates will go down with things that you buy, right? Because you have good credit, right? That builds up your credit when you manage your credit card correctly.
That's right. Was that you, Dale? I wasn't sure who that was, but that's
Oh, that was Mary Kim. Sorry,
that wasn't
talking
me.
really low.
So that is exactly right. That and that's one of the reasons I mentioned the credit score earlier, is that the higher your credit score, the lower your rates are going to be. And we'll get, so credit cards are good. They're convenient. Just be aware of your spending. They're great for building credit history. You don't just get the card, you use it, but just pay it back. I've heard this conversation before on some of the social media outlets, and it's partially accurate. I heard a conversation where they were saying you should carry 30% debt on your credit cards. That is not what you should do. You should, if at all possible, keep your balance to zero. In other words, pay your bill in full so that you're not paying interest. Where the 30% comes in is you should, if you're able to, not go over 30% of your total available limits. Because when you go over the 30%, it's more likely that it will affect your credit. You can, it'll fluctuate. Most credit card companies report to the bureaus every month, right after the statement closes. So, speaking of the credit bureaus, always stay on top of your credit report. You should be checking them. I check my score often, but you should be looking at your whole file at least twice a year, and know that you have the right to dispute anything in it. And you also have the right to, when you do that they will add a note into your credit file, right? And there could be something that's not so attractive in your credit report that's accurate, but had extenuating circumstances. So that's another reason you could add a note and ask for it to be added to your file, right? We already talked about the rewards and benefits. There's different types where you can earn points, air travel, cash back, emergency funds. The credit card, when it comes to family and health and emergencies, you want to have that security, because those are times if you need to get, doesn't matter, right? So you want to have that credit card available. You don't want to have it maxed out and not be able to use it. So have a card that you can have dedicated to that. Ideally, you can have like two. I have two cards. And one of them I use every month. You know, I use it as I was describing earlier. I use it and then I pay it. One of them I never use. So if there's anything big that happens to me or anyone close to me, I have that. And then it's just, like I was just saying, gives you a sense of security. Now, the disadvantages, we already talked about the interest rates, but who wants to talk about anything that they would see as a disadvantage?
Renee, I have a question for you. This is Crystal again. I had a card that because I didn't use it at all during the time frame that I had it, they actually closed the account because I wasn't using it. So should you use it every so often just so it remains active, even if it's like a $10 purchase and then you like pay it off? But I had a credit card that I was saving for emergency purposes. I opened the account but never used it, never charge anything on it. And then the bank came back around and was like, well, since you're not using this card, they closed it.
Mm-hmm.
So should you have a card that you really just reserve for like those emergencies, but every so often do something on it so it shows some activity?
Exactly. You're exactly right. And on the card, even that as you were saying that, I was like, wait a minute, you're right. You have to keep it active or they will close them. But it's like anything, like you just said, it's a $10 purchase. The one that I keep for emergencies, I have a very small $20 charge that comes out every month. I just pay it. And but you're right, that's how it stays active. Something else that came to mind is, how many of you guys have been in a store and they would say, would you like to apply for our store credit card? You can save 20% extra today. And it's again, that's an example of what I was telling you, that if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Because when you open that card, you may save a lot of money that day. You may never use that card again, only on occasion, and it stays open like Crystal said. What's going to happen is that's going to go to your credit report and it's going to show potential debt. Even if you never use it, but just incidental, the potential for debt is there. And that could weigh in on your credit score.
This was so good, Renee. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for all of the tips. Renee Montero, everyone, we have about 10 minutes left. If anyone has any more questions for Renee, or did you have any more to go over, Renee? And then I can.
Let me just think. I think that our conversation has covered a lot of them. Yeah, the one thing that this actually has, I had made a note because I was looking at it. Sorry, someone came into the room while I was here. One of the things that I have come across, and it's not really to do with finance, it's the more engineering side of me that I wanted to tell people about because I love getting the word out on new technology. Who in this room has heard about ChatGPT?
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up. That was going to be something I wanted you to tap into. So good. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to put it's artificial intelligence. One of my hats that I wear is I'm an engineer. So this is just it amazes me how this technology works. I encourage all of you to grab this link if you don't have it, because I'm told I go directly to the site. I'm told that if you go to the Google Play or Apple Store, it involves a a fee. I think because it's more of an app as opposed to this is the online raw version of it, but it's perfect. How much time do we have? 10 minutes, Angeline?
Yep, you're good. 9 minutes.
All right. Does anyone, if you want to set it up real quick, it's just 2 minutes. I just want to, it's so amazing. You can type anything. You can put, create.
Can you define what you're talking about for those of us that have no idea what you're talking about?
The Chat GPT is artificial intelligence. That's what I was going to get to.
Are we talking about the Jetsons or like?
Basically, these days, it's a tool that you can ask it any question and it'll spit it out to you. For example, you can put in, build me a business plan for opening an art studio. And it'll send you a business plan for opening an art studio.
And
I
you
see
can
Mandy's
build out your
face.
budget on it. I freaking love the
It's
ChatGPT. It's bringing it up,
So you've
and I
used
think that
it, Angeline?
for the finances, you can definitely put it in. Yeah, I've used it. It's so great. So you have to be very specific, and then take it with a grain of salt too, because you need to be the expert in what you're asking it, so that you can also validate what it is. Because again, it is artificial intelligence, but it helps the brain fog of crap. I know what I want to say, but how do I say it? Right. So it is so amazing. So thank you, Renee, for bringing it up. You can literally be like, act like accountant and help me budget out the month, because I only have a budget of $1,000 this month, and it's going to really, I need a way to do that. So it's super cool. Are you guys hearing me? Because now I think I
can
lost
hear you.
my connection
Hear you
for my
loud and
voice.
clear. Can you give an example
Okay.
of how you used it or how it can help business, Angeline?
As far as business goes, I literally, when I was stuck on an email to remind all of you amazing people to jump into here, I literally put in Absolute Elite Mindset Program, act like the coach that is inviting these entrepreneurs and life, life action people into my event, and create a template email to remind them about this event. And you all got that email, and then you all got the blast test. That was ChatGPT helping me out, y'all. So I didn't have to think about it, because I was literally running, like many of you, I wear many hats. I'm a mom. I'm right now at a wrestling match for my son. And I knew I had to jump in here, and I knew how to remind you guys to jump in here because of these amazing tips that Stars Tina did, that Renee's did, that Mindy did last week, that Debbie gave us last week, that Carol and myself brought to you, and that Shante and Pamsky Shante Health, sorry, nicknames, and Pamsky, Coach Pamsky is going to give you next week for our final for this Absolute Elite Mindset Program. You guys, tap into this. It is so amazing. And I dropped the link in the chat. If you guys want to hear more, just reach out to any of us. We can walk you through it. It's super cool. I love it. It just gives you some more opportunity for another tool in your pocket. When I went in my session, the first session, I talked about technology tools. This is a technology tool that I'm like, must have. So cool. I love y'all.
Thank you, Angeline.
Connected with any of us.
You're going.
Reach out and send an email to us. I know I might be throwing out. Send an email if you don't have it, or your text message. You can text AEM to any one of us, or you can send it to me at the main number 407-565-7365. I don't know if I gave that right number. I'll drop it in the chat so that you guys can stay connected, and I can give you guys reminders for our last session.
Thank you.
And how to get VIP and the recordings if you miss anything.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance who wants to download it to get it? If you have, you can grab it out of the chat. Otherwise,
Renee, can you repost the link? My phone
Sure.
went weird and I missed it, so I had to join on my
I'm going to
computer.
email it to you guys as well. We're going to put a recap of today's.
Yeah,
so we'll put
that
it
is
in
true.
the email.
And we can put it in the ebook as well. So yeah, but it's pretty amazing. I see Mindy up at the top of my screen. I've been using you, Mindy, as an example, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know. Do you have it, Mindy?
I haven't used it yet, but the email that, or the text that Angeline just sent out, I was like, wow, Angeline just sent a really thorough reminder about joining. It was so well put together with the link and everything. And now that she said that she used Chat GPT, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense, because it had like my name in it, and it had her name in it, and it said where she was from, and it had the link and everything. And so it makes for, and then I see that Pam said that she uses it for that exact same thing. And so, yeah, if you can make that transition so much easier, why not just use it? Makes so much sense.
Yep. And as Angeline said, you can, it's a free text form, the data you input, so it can personalize it. But for example, I forgot what grade students you teach. So I said 8th grade. I think it's older, right? But
yeah, high school. Yeah.
I put create a test for my 8th grade art students. It's brought it up. Now here's the interesting thing, the devil's advocate, right? How are they, because this is available on smartphones as well, right? I guess, I immediately thought of students, like how are they going to now control access to that with students actually learning instead of relying on the AI?
Teachers it's a big topic. I know teachers are concerned about it, but I believe one of the tech people that helped start another tool before they launched ChatGPT, he actually created a platform specifically for teachers and professors to help catch AI written stuff. So there's already an answer for
Cheaters.
it. So
yeah,
so they're good. They've thought of all the things. All of our brilliant people on the back end, the ones that build all this AI for us. So there's an answer. But yeah, for business owners, and like Pam said in the chat, you do have to know your expertise. You do have to check it. You do have to fact check it, because while it's artificial intelligence and while it's a great tool to help you take everything and make it easier so that you can focus on you and your genius, and you're like, I'm not good at copy. How do I make this copy? It's also something that you need to be like, yes, this is exactly what I say and how I want to say it. So so tell it, and then it remembers. Like it's so brilliant because it remembers what you're asking it to be like, okay, get a little deeper. Or so I want you to act like a successful business or a successful teacher that wants to simplify teaching my high schoolers how to love themselves. And then it's like, okay, focus on girl confidence. And then it just continues that chalk track. And it's so it's really cool. Tap into it, guys. And then I dropped in the chat the number for you guys to get reminded for next week. 407-656-9375, text AEM. I probably already have you if you're in here, but just to get reminders for our final session to this amazing Absolute Elite Mindset program. Love you guys.
Yes, Angeline, you are amazing with technology and everything. I just want to thank you so much. And I also want to thank Stars Tina. The suggestions that she gave this morning were amazing. So thank you, Stars Tina. And then Renee, the advice that you gave us about finances, that was awesome. And I saw Health with us a few minutes ago. She was in here, and Pam Ski's with us now. Both Health Wells and Pam Ski are going to be our coaches for next week, bringing us information about their topics, their expertise. And so I'm looking forward to those. And like Angeline said, you can text that 407-565-9375 if you need a reminder to join us next week. So get that out of the chat before we close out. And were there any questions before we close out? Did anybody have anything they needed to know, since it's noon right on the button, so we can be respectful of people's times? Renee, did you have anything? Did you want to?
I'm just checking the chat, and then let's see. Yes, Pam.
Rick, you have a question?
Yes, I do. I was just wondering, is there things such as business grants?
Grants?
Mm-hmm. For businesses?
Yes, Rick. Actually, I can give you some information if you message me. You can email me. I'll put it in the chat. And it'll also be in the emails, the contact information. But I will also tell you that, did you get the Chat GPT? It will give you the info as well. But please feel free, Rick, to email me and I'll help you with that.
Okay.
All right, let me, Mindy, if you can, before we shut down, I'm gonna just put my email address here.
Awesome. That sounds good. Yes. To let you know about next week too, Pamsky is going to be talking to us about her Christian values for women and overcoming the effects of dysfunctional families and situations. And then Health Wells is the owner and operator of the Abundant Health Services, and she's been working with sports medicine and massage therapy for quite some time. And so we're really looking forward to having those two partner together. So be thinking about what questions you might have for them as you're going through this week, and bring those for next week to be hearing from them. So did anybody have any other questions for Renee while we have Renee with us about finances before we sign off?
Great job, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll do this.
Okay, so Renee is putting her, she got her email in the chat, in the chat. It's Renee at renee.elitestarsfitness@gmail.com. So you can copy and paste that if you need to get that information. And Pamsky put that she's setting boundaries in business and home for her topic for next week. So we're looking forward to hearing from Pamsky and Health Wells next week. So Absolute Elite Mindset Coaching. Thanks everybody for being here. Remember, do what you love and love what you do. And much love to everybody.